drunk. Oh, fuck. Wait, no. Way too drunk, but good to see you too.
It's good to see you.
We're talking about the time that I did way too much work on a place where it was inappropriate for me to do that much work. What? Wait, what? Okay.
So you were talking about, you just sung about Scorpion. You went down to find the local boss, asked him what to do.
So I'd woken up that morning and I put on my pants and I felt a sting in my leg.
We heard this part. We're at the part with you telling the guy, and you said that he cracked open a beer and handed it to you.
Yeah, okay. So I get down there and he opens a beer and he hands it to me. And at that point I figure, oh, he knows what's going on. Like, obviously. And he thinks at that point. So I just started drinking it. Because I figure he knows what's going on. Upon finishing that beer, I was walking down the road and I stumbled into one of the people who was also on the property. I don't know if you remember Candace.
Yeah.
Candace was pretty chill, and she was a mom, so she like comes walking up the path. She's like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you drunk this early?" And I show her the Scorpion, and she sees it, and she's like, "Oh, well, I hope you do good. There you go." Hands me the Scorpion back, puts this in this little container. And she's like, "I gotta get back to work." And she goes back to work. I mean, this was all after I had already got to the cabin and gotten scotch, which I had to go through a whole process of fighting to get the scotch.
What did you have to do to get the scotch?
I mean, there was a whole process to get the scotch, because the person who was in control of the scotch was a douchebag with a gun. And he kept, like, threatening us. And when I got down there to get the scotch, because I realized that I was poisoned and that Darcy wanted me to get down there to get... And I just assumed that Darcy was telling me that I needed to get more booze in my system. So I went down to the local cabin where I did have scotch stashed, and I ran in there and I grabbed the scotch, and I got threatened at gunpoint because the dude that was working on the farm didn't trust me or anybody else. He came out and he fucking pointed the gun at me, and he's like, "I know you're not doing what the fuck you think you're doing." And I just turned around and went, "I have to get more booze because I just got stung by a scorpion." And he has the gun like pointed right behind me and he goes, "Bull fucking shit. You're fucking us all over. You've been trying to fuck us over this whole time. And now you're gonna keep fucking us over." And I was like, let me get it. Just give me a second. I reached in my pocket and I pulled out the Scorpion, and he looked at it and he let me take the scotch, and he was like, "Good luck, because you're not even going to make it to the end of the day." So I started heading towards my cabin, which was up the hill. And that was pretty much the experience with working on a pot farm up in North California.
So what happened? You went to sleep, you felt better the next morning?
I mean, I tripped balls all night. It was pretty fucking crazy. But yeah, that was more or less the experience. I got back to my cabin. I was safe. Yeah, it was a fucking 10. Good times. Good times.
Good times.